Have you ever felt like someone in your life is holding you back? Maybe it's a friend who always complains, someone who seems to compete with you on everything, or a person who only shows up when they need something. These relationships may seem harmless at first, but over time, they drain your energy, test your patience, and even stop you from becoming the best version of yourself. In today's video, we're diving into a critical topic inspired by Stoic wisdom: 7 types of friends you should cut off. The Stoics, known for their practical philosophy, believe that the people we allow into our lives play a major role in shaping our peace of mind and personal growth. By identifying and distancing yourself from these 7 types of friends, you're not being cruel. You're taking a courageous step toward a better, healthier life. We'll explore each type in detail, sharing real-life examples, signs to watch for, and actionable tips to handle these situations gracefully. Stick around until the end, because we'll also share a powerful Stoic principle that will help you make these tough decisions without guilt or regret. So, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the truth about the friends who might be silently holding you back. This might just be the wake-up call you need. Number 1. The energy vampire. Have you ever had a friend who leaves you feeling completely drained after every interaction? Maybe it's someone who always complains about their life, constantly points out the negative, or thrives on drama. These people are often called energy vampires, and they can take a serious toll on your mental and emotional well-being. Let me share a quick story. Imagine this. You've had a long day at work, and you're finally home, ready to relax. Then your phone rings. It's your friend, and before you can even say hello, they dive into a long list of complaints about their job, their relationships, their life. You try to offer support, but no matter what you say, it's never enough. They don't really want advice. They just want someone to unload on. By the end of the call, you feel completely drained, as if all your energy has been sucked out of you. This is exactly what the Stoics warned us about. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Energy vampires do the opposite. They pull you down and leave you feeling worse than before. So, how can you recognize an energy vampire in your life? Here are some telltale signs. They always have a problem but never look for solutions. Their negativity is constant, and it spreads like a dark cloud. They rarely, if ever, ask about your life or how you're doing. Now, here's the tricky part. You might feel guilty about distancing yourself from them. After all, they might be going through a tough time. But here's the truth. The Stoics believed that protecting your peace is not selfish. It's necessary. If someone consistently drains your energy, it's not just about them. It's about you and the life you're trying to build. Here's a practical tip. Start setting boundaries. The next time this friend calls, don't feel obligated to answer right away. If you do pick up, keep the conversation short and redirect it to something positive. Over time, they'll either adjust their behavior or realize they need to find a different outlet for their negativity. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Protect your energy so you can focus on the things and the people that truly matter. Number 2. The gossip. Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're sitting in a coffee shop with someone you consider a close friend. You're catching up, and at first it feels good, lighthearted, even fun. But slowly, the conversation shifts. They start talking about another friend, sharing details that feel way too personal. It's juicy gossip, sure, but something feels off. You leave the coffee shop wondering, if they're saying all this about someone else, what are they saying about you when you're not around? This is the problem with the gossiper. They thrive on drama and secrets. They aren't interested in lifting others up or building trust. They live for the thrill of tearing people down, even those they call friends. The Stoics had a strong opinion about this kind of behavior. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Gossip is the opposite of what the Stoics stood for. It's a waste of time and energy, and it pulls us away from being the best version of ourselves. Think about it. When you engage with a gossiper, you're doing 2 things. You're encouraging negativity, and you're allowing that negativity to seep into your own life. And the truth is, Someone who gossips about others will inevitably gossip about you. So how do you handle this type of friend? First, recognize the signs. Do they always have something bad to say about someone? Do they turn every conversation into a critique of someone else's life? And most importantly, do you feel uneasy or guilty after spending time with them? That's your intuition telling you something's not right. Next, set boundaries. You don't have to confront them aggressively. A simple shift in the conversation can work wonders. For example, if they start gossiping, you can say something like, "I'd rather focus on something positive today." It's subtle, but it sends a clear message. And if they don't change, it's okay to distance yourself. The Stoics believed that we should surround ourselves with people who align with our values, friends who inspire us to be better, not drag us into the mud. At the end of the day, ask yourself, is this friendship adding peace to my life, or is it pulling me into unnecessary drama? Cutting off a gossiper might feel harsh at first, but remember, your peace of mind is worth far more than a toxic friendship. So what do you think? Have you ever had to deal with a gossiper? So how did you handle it? Let me know in the comments. Number 3, the flaky friend. Have you ever had a friend who always cancels plans at the last minute? Or someone who promises to be there for you but never follows through? It's frustrating, right? You spend your time, energy, and even emotions only to be left hanging. This type of friend is what we call a flaky friend. Now, let me ask you this. How does it feel when you're excited about something? Maybe a dinner, a trip, or just a simple catch-up, and they back out with some excuse that feels half-hearted? Disappointment starts to build up, and over time, it chips away at the trust in that relationship. The Stoics had a lot to say about relationships like this. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "Time is the most valuable thing a man can spend." Think about that. Every moment you spend waiting on someone unreliable is a moment you can never get back. And yet, we often tolerate this behavior because we don't want to seem harsh or overly critical. But here's the hard truth. A flaky friend isn't just wasting your time. They're showing you where you rank on their list of priorities. Actions speak louder than words. If someone consistently lets you down, it's not just bad luck or poor timing. It's a pattern. So what can you do? First, communicate. Sometimes people don't even realize the impact of their behavior. A simple conversation can make them aware of how it feels when they cancel or show up late. But if the flakiness continues, it might be time to rethink that friendship. Now, cutting off a flaky friend doesn't mean you have to make a dramatic exit. Instead, you can simply start investing less time and energy into them. Focus on the relationships where people show up for you, where plans are followed through, and your time is respected. Because, as the Stoics teach us, your time and your peace of mind are treasures. Don't waste them on people who don't value them. Number 4, the competitive frenemy. You've probably had that friend who always seems to turn everything into a competition. It's like no matter what you achieve, they have to one-up you. Whether it's a new job, a personal milestone, or even a small win, they're not really happy for you. They're just thinking about how they can make it about themselves. This type of friend can feel draining. Instead of celebrating your success, they make it feel like a race. Can even start to feel like you're walking on eggshells, trying not to outshine them, or worse, holding yourself back just to keep the peace. This is where Stoic philosophy really offers some insight. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, believed that true friendship should be based on mutual growth and harmony. He said, "The best way to keep good friends is to treat them as equals, not competitors." In other words, a real friend isn't someone who measures your worth by how you compare to them. They're someone who genuinely wants to see you thrive without the need for rivalry. Now, how do you handle a competitive friend? Well, first, recognize the behavior. If you notice that every conversation turns into a contest, it's time to step back and reassess the relationship. You have to decide if this dynamic is something you want to keep in your life. But here's the key. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others, only our responses to them. If you're constantly feeling like you're competing with someone, it might be time to distance yourself. It doesn't have to be dramatic or confrontational. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is simply focus on yourself and let go of that need to measure up to anyone else. In a way, cutting ties with a competitive friend is an act of self-respect. It's saying, I value my peace and my growth more than this unhealthy competition. And remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. So, if you've got a friend who constantly makes everything a race, it might be time to stop running. Not because you can't keep up, but because the race isn't worth your energy. Number 5. The victim. Have you ever had a friend who always seems to be stuck in the same cycle of problems? No matter how much advice you give, they never seem to take action. Instead, they constantly talk about how life is unfair, how things never work out for them, and how they just can't catch a break. It's like they wear their victimhood as a badge, and no matter how hard you try, they never seem to change. This type of friend can drain your energy. They're always in crisis mode, always needing help or attention. And while you want to be there for them, you start to notice a pattern. They're not looking for solutions. They're not interested in changing. They just want to stay in the victim role because it gets them sympathy and keeps them from taking responsibility for their own lives. The Stoics, like Epictetus, taught that we cannot control the circumstances of life, but we can control how we respond to them. The victim mindset is the opposite of this. It's about giving up control, blaming everything and everyone else for your struggles, and refusing to take responsibility for your actions. This mindset traps people in a cycle of negativity and helplessness. As a friend, it's exhausting to constantly try to pull someone out of this mindset. The Stoics would advise us not to enable this behavior. Instead of constantly rescuing them, we must encourage them to take responsibility for their actions, to shift their focus to what they can control. We can still care for them, but we shouldn't let their problems become our problems. It's okay to set boundaries. Let them know that you can no longer be their emotional crutch. You don't have to walk away completely, but you do need to stop enabling their victimhood. A healthy friendship is one where both people grow and support each other. But if one person is stuck in perpetual victimhood, it's time to reassess the relationship. The Stoics believed that our time is precious, and we should spend it wisely, surrounding ourselves with people who are actively working to improve their lives, just as we are. So, if you find yourself constantly trying to pull a friend out of their victim mindset with no change in sight, remember, you have the right to walk away for your own peace and growth. Number 6. The user. Have you ever had a friend who only reaches out when they need something from you? Maybe they ask for a favor, borrow money, or want help with something, but you never hear from them just to catch up or enjoy each other's company. This type of friend, the user, is always taking but never giving. In Stoic philosophy, relationships are built on virtue, trust, and mutual respect. The Stoics believed that a true friend is someone who is there for you, not just when it's convenient, but through thick and thin. They offer support, wisdom, and companionship without expecting anything in return. The user flips this idea upside down. They don't care about your well-being, they care about what they can get from you. It's easy to get caught up in trying to help them because at first it might feel good to be needed. But as time goes on, you start to realize that you're always the one giving, and they're always the one taking. This kind of one-sided relationship isn't just exhausting, it's draining. It can leave you feeling unappreciated, like your time and energy are being taken for granted. The Stoics understood that time is our most valuable resource, and we must use it wisely. By surrounding ourselves with people who genuinely care about us, we protect our peace and energy. A friendship built on mutual respect and care should never feel like an endless transaction. If you find yourself constantly giving without receiving anything in return, it might be time to reassess the relationship. It's important to recognize the signs of a user and set clear boundaries. You don't have to cut them off abruptly or be rude, but you can start to limit the emotional or physical labor you invest in them. You can say no when their requests go beyond what you're comfortable with. By doing this, you honor yourself and your time, just as the Stoics would advise. If you let this kind of person stay in your life, you'll be left feeling empty and drained, which takes you away from living a virtuous, meaningful life. Instead, Focus on friendships that lift you up and bring positivity. Because true friends, according to the Stoics, will be there for you not just when they need something, but because they value you as a person, not for what you can do for them. Number 7. The disrespectful friend. Imagine this: you've been there for someone through thick and thin. You've listened to their problems, celebrated their victories, and been a loyal friend. But over time, you start noticing something: they don't treat you the same. They interrupt you when you're talking, dismiss your feelings, or make cutting remarks disguised as jokes. You start feeling like you're giving more than you're getting. That's when you realize it's not just a bad moment, it's a pattern. In Stoic philosophy, respect is fundamental to any meaningful relationship. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, believed that self-respect was a cornerstone of wisdom. He taught that we must surround ourselves with people who honor our dignity and treat us with fairness. If someone consistently disrespects you, it's a clear sign that they don't align with your values. Disrespect can show up in many ways. It can be subtle, like when a friend belittles your ideas, or it can be more obvious, like when they make you feel worthless or constantly put you down. The Stoics warned that we must protect our peace and not allow others to treat us in ways that damage our self-worth. Let's be honest, friendships should lift you up, not bring you down. When someone disrespects you, it's not about them being perfect. It's about how they make you feel. And the Stoics believed that how we feel and react is something we control. If you find that someone consistently disrespects you, it's time to assess whether this relationship is worth keeping. Remember, this isn't about holding grudges or seeking revenge. It's about protecting your energy and your peace of mind. The Stoics would say, don't let someone's disrespect define you. When you walk away from people who treat you badly, you're not only protecting yourself, you're making room for better, more respectful connections. So, ask yourself, how much are you willing to tolerate for the sake of someone else? Real friends value each other, and if someone isn't doing that, it's time to reconsider their place in your life. Don't let disrespect slide, because when you respect yourself, others will too. So, there you have it, 7 types of friends you might want to consider cutting off for your own well-being. Let's be honest, friendships should lift you up, not hold you back. The Stoics understood that the people we surround ourselves with play a huge role in shaping who we become. By letting go of toxic friendships, we're not being mean or harsh. We're just protecting our peace, our growth, and our happiness. Remember, it's okay to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you, especially when they're draining your energy or pulling you away from your goals. You have the power to choose who you let into your life. It's about surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to be better, who respect you, and who support your growth. If you recognize any of these friends in your life, don't be afraid to set boundaries. You deserve to be around people who lift you up, not bring you down. And as the Stoics taught us, being mindful of who we let into our lives is key to living with purpose and clarity. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you had to cut off a toxic friend before? Share your experiences below. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your peace, and remember, you are in control of who you let into your life.